Okay, time now to bring in our panel to talk about this week's top stories. Joining us this week, former mayoral candidate Abdul Hakim Shabazz is back with us again this week. Abdul, welcome back.
Always good to be
It's
back.
great to see you. Along with UIndy political science professor Dr. Laura Wilson, Democratic strategist Lara Beck, and former GOP lawmaker Mike Murphy. Thank you all for joining us today. Mike, let's start with the race for president, the latest indictment in Georgia. We've already talked about it. The former president expected to turn himself in. The first presidential debate happening just days away. Trump not expected to take part, but this is really the first of probably many instances where the political calendar and the legal calendar are going to collide.
Absolutely. First of all, it's the most significant criminal trial since the trial of Aaron Burr back in 1807. That's going a ways back.
That's a ways back.
That's going a ways back, but it really is. As far as the political calendar goes, sure. And the problem is we still only have 2 or 3 Republican candidates for president who are willing to say that anything Trump did was wrong, and that's Christie, Mike Pence, and Asa Hutchinson. There may have been one other, I'm not sure. But everybody is still afraid of Donald Trump. And nobody's going to become president unless they're willing to take him on head on.
I want to talk about more about that a little bit later. But Lara, first of all, this latest indictment in Georgia, is this just going to solidify Trump's base even more, if that's possible?
Well, I think anything he does, especially as it relates to this, is always going to solidify his base. So I don't think his base is going to leave him no matter what. But what we're also looking at in Georgia is that the prosecutor's use of the RICO statute is far more broad than what has been used against him in the past. And so if you read that indictment, which I did spend some time reading it, and it just lays it out in excruciating detail, the criminal enterprise. And it really wasn't until I actually sat and read it from start to finish that I really had the full breadth of everything that took place. And so I do think it's going to make an impact because it's a state court, and he also can't pardon himself.
Pardon himself. 95 pages. It's not a quick read.
No, it was not.
Abdul, let's talk about that debate stage one more time. As we said, looks like former President Trump not going to attend. Do you think that any of the candidates will take a different stance with Trump, with him not being on the stage next week?
I would argue that the only thing better than Donald Trump being there is Donald Trump not being there, because then they could just take shot after shot after shot, and Trump can't respond because he'll be doing something else on Twitter or X or whatever the website is these days. But I do think it's a good move for Mike Pence, for Chris Christie, for Asa Hutchinson, and technically for Ron DeSantis to sort of take up that stage since Trump won't be there.
Laura, we heard from Tony Samuel earlier in the program. Many Republicans in Indiana sticking with the former president, including many of those for governor who spoke this past week about this indictment. Are all those positions baked in at this point?
It seems hard to believe they would be changing, but it makes a lot of sense strategy-wise because you're talking about the same primary election, right, in which these Republican voters will be voting and deciding not only who's going to be their presidential candidate, but also who's going to be the gubernatorial candidate for Indiana. So to see people picking their lanes, picking their candidates, we've talked before if there's any wiggle room, and I think increasingly as there are fewer days, weeks, and months to the election, there's a lot less ability to change on that.
All right, let's switch gears. This week, a new candidate in the race for governor, former Commerce Secretary Brad Chambers, filing the paperwork to enter the race. Mike, you predicted that this would happen. Now that it has, what does this mean for the Republican primary?
Well, it's another old guy, an old rich guy who can write his own checks. I mean, this is a big win for Suzanne Crouch because she splits the old guy vote, and she is more clearly the alternative to all of them, quite frankly. And so, Brad, a successful guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's no different than Mike Braun, Eric Doden, and these guys who think they're going to be governor.
Lara, I don't want you to judge old guys here.
Since there's
I
always love being on with Mike Murphy over here. Murphy just says it like it is. Well, I think I've been thinking about this a little bit, and this is going to show my age, but 20 years ago, a candidate like Brad Chambers, I think, would have just cleared the field, right? He's a successful business person, establishment, old white guy who can write a check to fund his campaign. But this is a different Republican Party, and he's going to be running in a primary where Donald Trump will likely be on the ballot, and these are MAGA voters. So I don't necessarily know if someone from Indianapolis who has a great resume, yes, is going to be able to clear the field and get these voters when you've got some other candidates, like you said, Suzanne Crouch, and then you've also got the really conservative folks, and that's who comes out and votes in a primary.
All right. Also this week, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett presented his proposed budget to the City County Council. It would give police in Indianapolis the largest total funding the department has ever received, adding up to $323 million of $1.5 billion spending plan. This week, we heard from the mayor, but also from his Republican opponent, Jefferson Shreve.
We have experienced declines in nearly every major crime category. That includes non-fatal shootings, robberies, burglaries. Last year, we saw a 16% decline in murders, with a further 12% decline so far this year.
I don't think people in Marion County generally feel like we are safer. Both violent and nonviolent crimes, criminal homicide, stabbings. We've got work to do.
So we know how this worked. The budget proposal now gets heard by the council committees. All of this happening in an election year, of course, where crime has been the key issue. Abdul, you were recently a candidate in this race. What do you make of the proposals that we heard this week?
Well, I think it's interesting because the city is spitting down the last bit of the American Recovery Act dollars, because that's one thing they had to keep in mind we got during the pandemic. Number two, also, there's a question of how many positions are being unfilled to pay for all these increases in programs in police officers, because we're still down 300 police. So the question is, how many DPW workers positions are open, how many administrative positions are open, and then did the mayor use the funds saved from those positions to fund public safety? And by the way, public safety crime may be down, but people still feel that the city is relatively unsafe.
Okay, Laura, just a few seconds left. How do you see this race playing out in the months ahead?
Well, I think it is going to be an interesting one to watch. The big thing in terms of this budget is a 6.7% increase from the previous year, and the two big areas of funding are on crime in terms of IMPD and also for DPW in terms of infrastructure. So I think this is a really big flex for the incumbent, for Hogsett, and we'll see how Shreve responds.
All right. Thanks to you all. Coming up, Indiana Task Force 1 deploying to Maui as President Biden also prepares to visit that state. We'll hear from the FEMA administrator. That's coming up next.